What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Bunker Office Hours, a semi-weekly live show brought to the team by Bunker Labs, a national network of veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs dedicated to helping our community start and grow their own businesses. I'm your host, the one and only Iron Mike Stedman, joined by my co-host, Amy Warrington, and our guest today, Valerie. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, good morning.
We were just chopping it up. Valerie was an E8 in the Army. Was he say sergeant major? It was a first sergeant. First sergeant. And we're just riffing on our time in service. So I'm excited to have Valerie here because we're going to be talking about the Military Influencer Conference taking place in October. I'll be flying out to Vegas along with a lot of the Bunker Labs ambassadors and members of our community. Shout out to Cortez Riggs for setting this up. It's going to be super exciting. This is my first time going to the conference, and I'm excited to be there with all of you. You're our tribe. You're the community. And so we're going to chop it up about that today with Valerie. But before we do that, Amy, are there any announcements you would like to pass around to the bunker?
Yes, we have a few this week. Let's see. So first we've got sorry. Check out our events this happening in a community near you. Sorry, I have to run the back end today, so I'm just a little bit off. So check out community happenings at bunkerlabs.com/communities to find what's going on at a city near you. And then veterans and residents applications are opening in September. So we're going to talk about that on September 6th. We're going to have Ann on to talk about frequently asked questions for VIR. So just bookmark the bunkerlabs.org/VIR or veterans and residents. And then just a reminder, Breaking Barriers in Entrepreneurship workshops are always open. The next cohort for that one starts in October. So you can check out bunkerlabs.org/breaking barriers for that application/interest form. And then a new thing that we just want to remind y'all that we've got new blog articles going up more frequently. And right now we've got a veteran entrepreneur spotlight on Shantae E. Lewis, founder of Grant Life Consulting. And so that is at bunkerlabs.org/blog. And then that's all my bits.
Love it, man.
She's a fellow Floridian.
I got to give some shout outs. Our chat is blowing up over here. We got Danielle. Shout out to Danielle. Rick, what's up, everybody? My man Jason, Brick City, stand up. I see you. Linda, Matt, what's going on? Minnesota is tuning in. Who else we got? They're coming in from all over today.
From Canada.
Clarksville, Tennessee. My man Mike, I did not know that there's a cigar and guns event, but me and Valerie have been talking about working out. So I don't know if we can work out and smoke cigars. We probably will, though, because we're liable. What do you call them? Liberty risk, right? Is that the term?
Hey, it's 90-10, right?
There you go. But man, I'm excited to have you on, Valerie. Valerie and I talk all the time, right? I feel like, we're always just going back and forth, either text. I've come on your show for Action Zone, and you and I have been in the ecosystem for around the same amount of time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I started supporting veteran and military family member entrepreneurs in 2015. So it's been a minute.
And like me, Valerie also has a very successful business. I forgot what it's called again.
Luminary Global.
Yeah, Luminary Global. So she's in the entrepreneur hustle running Luminary Global. She's got her nonprofit, just like me, Action Zone. And she also works with Bunker Labs on the ambassador side of the house. And so there's a lot of different parts there. But man, I think it's so great. I mean, you talk about this of how we're able to bring value to the community, leveraging our own entrepreneurial experience, right? It keeps us, I feel, very grounded at the challenges the community faces, taking an idea, going from idea to invoice and beyond, because, you can get beat up by entrepreneurship, y'all. I know it's all fun and games. Y'all see us on the show, having fun or listening to the podcast, but it's ebbs and flows. It's ebbs and flows.
It is. And, that's, when we formed Action Zone, we formed with the intentions of supporting emerging entrepreneurs in the ideation stage, to be a natural feeder into incubators like what Bunker Labs have with their Veteran and Residence program, and now in hopes that they will then move on to CEO Circle. It is a requirement in Action Zone. In order to be a facilitator, you have to be an entrepreneur. And not to take anything away from formal education, you know, people who have their MBAs and their PhDs and all that stuff is, you know, important for their own personal goals. But in Action Zone, we want the instructors to walk into class with black eyes and stitches and, you know, just the experience of being beat down and being resilient and pushing through and, you know, surviving as small business owners. And the people who go through those types of programs like Action Zone, I think, are much more successful when they get accepted to incubators like the Veteran Residence Program.
Absolutely. And you know, today we're gonna be talking about MIC, Military Influencer Conference. And I had an epiphany over the last year, really through COVID, of just how much I enjoyed not only helping the community, but working with other veterans. And I went to my first conference, a military veteran startup conference hosted by Context Ventures, and it was amazing. Right. And so now, like, I'm going out of my way to go to events where our tribe is going to be. So, like, tomorrow, I'm driving down to Burbiz at MGM Harbor in Maryland, and then we're going to MIC in October, which is going to be my first time going to this conference. So I'm excited to learn more about what is going on at MIC, you know, from the Bunker Lab side of the house, and what you're most excited about as well.
Well, this year, gosh, well, first of all, I can't believe you've not been to a military influencer conference.
I don't like the term influencer. I hate the term influencer.
Oh, okay. So I'm surprised you haven't been to MIC. So I won't say it out loud, but Cortez has done an amazing job. And, you know, organizations like Bunker Labs, Action Zone, MIC, Vets in Tech, one of the, I think, most valuable opportunities in being involved with those organizations is that, for the most part, the people that you meet there are going to be trustworthy, and they're going to, you know, want to collaborate. And not to say that, you know, just completely let the veil down, but if you're running in those same circles, most likely you're going to meet other veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs that you can trust. And trust can go in feeling vulnerable enough to, you know, share what your struggles are, tell your story, and then potentially collaborations and partnerships. This year, the Ambassador Program, we do 3 fly-ins a year. So this October is our second fly-in for this 2022 cohort, and we're doing it in conjunction with MIC. So really excited about that. We fly them in for a day, 2 or 1.5 days, 2 days total of all things goodness. We pour professional development into our ambassadors. We bring some of our national partners to talk about things that are going to enhance them as entrepreneurs, as ecosystem developers, connectors in their communities, as well as entrepreneurs. The advantage of doing it, I think, with the Military Influencer Conference is that, you know, we strive to help our members build their network and then prepare to get access to capital. So bringing them to a Military Influencer Conference, where it's the first in-person one they've had since 2019, it's just their networks are going to explode with all of the networking that they're going to be able to do, and meeting. I mean, there's somebody here in the chat from Canada, so essentially almost globally, right? And then access to capital. So preparing your company, giving you the knowledge to enhance your company so that you can be postured for capital. A couple of the access to capital opportunities that we have is a partnership with LocalVest and Pfizer. So do you want me to pause there? You have a question? Because, you know, I keep talking. I'm a first sergeant.
Keep going. Let's go. I'm ready, first sergeant. Let's go.
Yeah. So, you know, Bunker has, we're a cohort program organization. We've got the Ambassador Program, we've got our Veteran Residence Program, and we have the CEO Circle, as well as Breaking Barriers cohort. And we have we seek to develop national partnerships so that we can bring some exclusive opportunities to our cohort members, no matter what program they're in. So with the Military Influencer Conference, if you're a member of one of our cohorts, you will get free general admission tickets, and they're limited. So once you see the link, if you get the email from Rosie or Shelby, make sure you sign up for your free general admission tickets. At Military Influencer Conference, Pfizer is sponsoring a pitch competition exclusive to the veteran or to the ambassador program. So you have to be an ambassador actively in our program right now to apply for the pitch. And amazingly, they have the top 3 winners, and each person in the top 3 is going to receive $10,000. So it's not like, 10,000, 8,000, 5,000, or whatever. Each of the top 3 is going to get $10,000. So better apply for that pitch. Another exclusive opportunity that we have right now is a partnership with Local Best. Local Best is a platform that helps investors find companies to invest in, and company founders to find investors who may have interest in investing in their company. 13 September will be our inaugural pitch to the investors, where 3 of our ambassadors are selected to pitch to the ambassadors. So applications, we did an applications call. We have people apply. They are right now in progress doing their in-person interviews, and the winners should be, or the selectees, I don't want to say winners because it's not really a pitch competition, will be announced by the end of the week.
Love it. We just got a question from Rick Narpal. Hope I got your name right, Rick. He wants to know when and where is the conference?
The conference starts, it's in October in Las Vegas. And let me see, I believe I got this up. And the ambassador fly-in starts on the 26th.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Military Influencer Conference starts 71 days.
Yeah, just go to the website and just go to the website. I believe it's definitely that week though, because I was looking at it.
26th to the 29th. Yeah. The 26th to the 29th. And another exclusive opportunity for the volunteer ambassadors in our ambassador program. Not only are we bringing them in for their ambassador fly-in for the professional development portion, but Military Influencer Conference is also awarding them VIP tickets, where other cohort members are getting free general admission. Our ambassadors are getting VIP. So that's, again, all of these opportunities are exclusive to our cohort members. And we have applications coming up for several of the programs. So if anybody's interested, we can talk more about that.
So I own a couple of things to say. One of the things I want to emphasize the importance about these conferences is you're getting your tribe all in one place, right? So like as a Naval Academy guy, Army, Navy is our big event. Rain, sleet, hell, or snow, you're going to run into classmates and friends and peers at Army, Navy. So like I go out of my way to make it there. Same thing with Brigade Boxing Championships, right? You start thinking about these conferences like Mick, right? This is when our tribe is going to be there. So you're not going to have to try to chase people around on LinkedIn, one place in one spot, right? I feel like if you come out to the conference, you're going to hang out with the bunker community, as well as all these other veteran entrepreneurs and military spouses, a part of our ecosystem. So I really want to encourage you all to come out and hang out. The second thing I want to say is I want to give Valerie her flowers, as well as Xavier, because I had an opportunity to go to the ambassador fly-in in Austin, Texas for the previous cohort. I think it was it February when we went out there?
February, yes, February.
The energy was so amazing. And I was just blown away by the programming as well. And I think that's one of the benefits of the community is, when you are looking on the outside at this kind of entrepreneurial ecosystem, there's this assumption that to get pitch competitions and advisors and all this other kind of exciting innovation ecosystem that you have to go to like a business school or something. What we're able to do at Bunker is bring this to our community for free, right? And it was cool to see, and it was also cool to just see the breadth and scope of the ambassadors now, because it's a lot different when I first came to the ecosystem as a city leader. So I want to give you and Xavier your flowers for just hosting an amazing fly-in. You're a first sergeant, so you're pretty meticulous about events, but I'm telling you all, like, this is a leader you want to be working with.
Oh, well, gosh, I think you've stumped me. I don't even know what to say after that. Yeah, we have an amazing team, our ambassador team. We're small but mighty, led by Xavier Clark. We also have Steve Rast and Rosie Lee. We absolutely 100%, 150% love what we do to help build and grow and develop entrepreneurs and leaders in communities across the country. So the hard work makes it, all of them make the hard work easy.
One thing I want to talk about is how have you seen ambassadors balance their own entrepreneurial, how do I say this, like responsibilities in addition to supporting and growing the ecosystem? Because I know in New York City, right, I was a community manager back when it was community managers. Then I became a city leader. But I remember the shift when I left my full-time job to focus on Ironbound boxing. And it was like night and day. Like the heat was on, the responsibility was real, and it was a hard transition for me. But I had to step away, from the city leader role to focus on, driving revenue for Ironbound Boxing.
Well, I think over the years, Bunker has done a really good job of promoting within. So Steve Rast and I both started as city leaders, and then we came on board as staff. And part of the reason why we were asked and selected to do that was because we were able to successfully figure out that work-life balance, if you will, between our real life and our advocacy for what we believe in, and that's the success of veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs. So what we're trying to develop in the ambassador program is a toolkit, if you will, give them tools to be able to learn how to divide your time to fit both roles. So one of the things that I did when I was a city leader was, like, I got a bleeding heart. Everybody can ask me to volunteer for all kinds of different organizations, whether it's a 5K to raise awareness for suicide, homelessness, mental health, employment. But I had to be like, okay, what is my true calling? And my true calling is helping veterans and military spouse entrepreneurs. So I decided, if it's not feeding that purpose in my life, then I just have to say, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And those are the kind of tricks and tips, if you will, that we try to pass on to the ambassadors. The ambassadors meet monthly in we call them squads. They're squad huddles, and there's a couple of cities, 4 to 5 cities in each squad. That's where we do a little bit of professional development. We share news about what's going on with Bunker. And then we literally just, as staff, I leave the meeting and let the ambassadors share their best practices. And that's really where they learn the most is, how do you separate being a founder and being an ambassador? Because it can be overwhelming. Did I answer your question? I know I just rambled.
You did. So let me ask you this. What is the biggest ask or the biggest need for our ambassadors? Because I view them as like the infantry. They're the frontline troops out there fighting the good fight in communities all across the country. And I'm always thinking to myself, and we have these conversations on the marketing side of the house, is how do we put more ambassadors in positions to win? Because I know for me, when I was first entering the ecosystem, right, I think it was Chad Arroyo was the director of New York City, executive director at the time. And you see what's possible a lot of times with the ambassadors. A lot of us are working our full-time job in a hustle. We get exposed to Bunker, and the ambassadors make it real for us, right? So what do we need to be doing as a community, both on this platform, the podcast, for our listeners, to put more ambassadors in positions to win?
I think it's first helping to build the network. Jake Tozer is a perfect example. If he is, because he gets exposed to everybody across the country because he's the resource guy for the BIR. If he knows that there is somebody in Tampa that needs help, he connects me almost immediately. So that is helping to build the network. And then I'll pass it off to the ambassadors locally. If I know an ambassador in Columbus, Ohio, and I have a key player, or access to a key player in Columbus, make that introduction. For the ambassadors that are, in the communities, it's really about being everywhere that you have the capacity to be in. And I always tell ambassadors, like, if you get invited to an event, always, always, always ask for the microphone. Yes, I can come, but can I get 2 minutes on the microphone? Because when you get the microphone at an event in front of everybody, you've got the ears and eyes of every person at that event. Where if you're just going in general networking or you're sitting in, general population, then it's like one-on-one networking, got to introduce yourself and cards and, all that kind of stuff. So stealing time on the microphone makes it seem like you are supposed to be there on the agenda. And then you can reach more people.
Love it. So one thing I'm going to do is I got to get Valerie back on the transition, because I had Valerie on back, like, I think it was still beta mode, right? Like I was still going through the review process, but I would love to get you on to talk about Action Zone, talk about ambassadors, and just everything you're going. I mean, people in the chat were saying that's not all she does. So you might have like 3 or 4 other side hustles I don't even realize, but
Nope, that's it. I got 3. That's it. I'm with my own life.
All right, we're going to transition into one of my favorite parts of office hours, is where we share knowledge and resources, which are book recommendations. So Valerie, what book recommendation do you have for our viewers today? And while she's doing that, if you have any questions for Valerie and I while we're on, feel free to go ahead and drop those in the chat right now.
Yeah, so right now I'm reading Atomic Habits, and I started sharing this story with Mike and Amy before we went live. So last Monday I had Mike and I were talking, like we do, about stuff and, our philosophies and our things. And I was so motivated. Like, it started my week off amazing. And then I went to the gym on Tuesday and I listened to Transition Podcast, and he was talking about working out. And I was like, oh, this is great. Like, now I'm more Iron Mike Stedman, like, motivation sprinkling all over me. And I had already planned last week to start reading the book Atomic Habits. And it was like the trifecta of realization that I need to be more like Mike. That, like, you're so self-aware, and I appreciate that. Not only are you self-aware, you know why you need certain things in your life to keep you on track and keep you moving forward. And as I started reading Atomic Habits, before I even finished the first chapter, I ordered my husband his own book, because I don't like sharing my books, because I like to write notes in them. And I was like, I probably needed this when I was in the Army, because in the Army, it was like conform or die. I'm not really a detailed person unless it's a detail that nobody else cares about. And I was paid to pay attention to those details when I was in the Army. But yeah, Atomic Habits, I'm halfway through it now, and it's a game changer for preparing me to set myself up for 2023. So I decided to take several months to prepare for 2023, and it's going to be a killer year for me, for Luminary, Action Zone, Bunker Labs. Like, I'm preparing.
Love it. Atomic Habits is a dope book. The thing I've noticed, though, with a lot, especially self-help books, is people try to implement too much at one time, and they have this idea of being like the atomic habit productivity ninja. You get up in the morning working out, you're planning your day, you're doing all this stuff, and you do it for like a week and then you're done. Versus like, okay, let me focus on doing one thing really well for like the next 90 to, like, I don't know, I can't count. So like, what's 180 days or something? Make it really part of your identity. That was a big thing, like your identity. Like, I'm a person that works out, and then you can implement something else, right? So it's a great book, really highly recommend. One of the biggest takeaways I took from it is just make it easy. Anytime you're starting a new habit, whether it's writing, going to the gym, whatever, we want to get in there like we did back in the day, get our little 45-minute, hour and a half workout in. But when you're just starting out, maybe you just need to do 5 minutes.
The part of the book that resonated with me the most was when I was active duty, and I, as a first sergeant, it was my job to train everybody to be physically fit, right? And I used to tell people when they would ask me about, nutrition and all that stuff, I'm like, just small tweaks, something as small as changing out Greek yogurt for sour cream. Every third day have turkey instead of beef. Just those small little tweaks in your lifestyle, and Atomic Habits is just reinforcing that for me.
Yeah. My book recommendation. Oh, I got the whip cracked on me. Gotta close at 11:30. But my book recommendation is I'm actually reading Save the Cat Writes a Novel by, who is the author? I forgot the author's name. But there's a book, screenwriting book called Save the Cats, right? Which tells you how to structure a screenplay from start to finish. And they took that framework and she applied it to novel writing. And, you know, I finished my first book, Black Veteran Entrepreneur, that's coming out in October. Appreciate y'all for supporting that book campaign. But I'm interested in challenging myself with the novel process, just because I like growing. You know, that's what I like investing my time in, trying new things. And so I'm reading that book, and it's really just about storytelling. And even if you're writing, you know, a post on LinkedIn, your social, whatever, like people are drawn through story. So there's these things that we don't necessarily know how to do inherently as veterans, you know, telling stories, like there's a framework for it. And so I'm reading that book to try to start the process early, because that's how I do things, Valerie. Like if I say, oh, I want to start a podcast, I'll read like 10 books on podcasting before I ever launch one, just to kind of start that nurturing phase. And so I'm going through that now. So check out Save the Cat, writes a novel. I think it's a good book, and I'll let y'all know how it is once I'm done with it. So as we close out here, Valerie, again, giving you your flowers. She's amazing. If you have interest in being an ambassador, this is who you'll be reporting to, her and Xavier. They're passionate about serving the veteran, entrepreneur, and military spouse ecosystem. They walk the walk and talk the talk. So come hang out with us in October at the Military Influencer Conference.
Yeah, Mike, before we close, can I just say that one, if you're interested in being part of any of our cohorts, to, you know, just build and grow and get access to some of our exclusive opportunities for our cohort members, ambassadors, VIR, etc., go to our website. VIR applications start open in 1 September, and I know Anne's going to come on to talk a little bit more about that. If you have interest in being an ambassador, I highly recommend that you apply for the VIR in hopes to get selected, so you kind of have an idea of what the expectation is of an ambassador. If you have interest in being an ambassador, you can go to our website and fill out an interest form so that we can let you know when applications will start being accepted, which will be early spring next year. Amazing opportunities, so don't miss out.
And I will actually be at MIC. I'll be giving a workshop on how to acquire your first 100 customers and beyond. So I'm excited about that. And I'd also want to encourage you all to check out the Transition Podcast. I did an interview with the founder of MIC, Cortez, and the episode is titled Learning to Trust the Process. It's an amazing story. He's an amazing entrepreneur. Really, really encourage you all to check that. And if you're watching this show right now, I need you to go ahead and pull out your phone. I need you to subscribe to the Transition Podcast and leave us a review. It's just great social proof for others outside the ecosystem as they come across the show to know that they're going to get value out of it. So if you could just pull out your phone right now, subscribe, and leave us a review, I'd greatly appreciate it. I want to give a special shout out to MetLife Foundation for sponsoring office hours as well as the Transition Podcast. We couldn't do these platforms without their support. So we truly appreciate you all. Head over to bunkerlabs.org, sign up for the newsletter, and get plugged into the ecosystem. We got programs that will take you from idea to invoice, incubate you, and position you to grow alongside other founders and CEOs. Until next time, everyone, peace, love, and have a great rest.